Hello, everyone. I hope everyone had a good weekend. We are almost finishing our weekend. So let me continue this series and preparing my server to install the SQL Server 22. In the last two or three episode, we prepared the server from the installation and configuration perspective that is required to set up the SQL Server on it. So now we are pretty much done with the OS installation. Obviously, our next step is to prepare our server so it can host the SQL Server environment. And if you remember in the first episode, I mentioned that there are many reasons why you don't want to use the Azure free credit or free services while you are working with the SQL Server or while you are working with the database services. And one of the biggest reason, if I just refresh your memory, is the usage quota. Like I don't think you can do any useful workload with 2 gig of memory and with some very small part of the disk space. And then obviously if you go with higher configuration instance, you have to pay a fortune, even though it's a minor one. But sometimes, if we forget to stop the instance, then it will cost us some more money. So if you just want to park all these hazards and you want to work, deeply with the product itself to see what kind of feature it is offering and how much workload, it can handle, especially from the data perspective. Like if you want to load a couple of millions records in a table and then process it, and I want to set up the on-premises with the cloud environment, which is a very common scenario in these days with most of the enterprise. So at least we can do it if we have our own local virtual environment. So that's the environment we are trying to set up on our host machine. So we have already configured the operating system successfully. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to adjust couple of settings on our operating system, which include obviously setting up the time zone and changing this Windows server name if you want to change, or obviously if you are working in a domain environment, you want to join it with your domain, and then obviously you want to use the Active Directory account instead of local system account, right? So these are normally the steps that we need to do before we go and we install the SQL Server. So let's come back to the operating system, and let me show you how you can do. So the good thing, as soon as this server has been loaded, you're gonna see this server manager popped up automatically. Normally it shows you the dashboard, so you're gonna see that interface. And one of the beauty for the server manager, that itself is a big topic, that Microsoft is providing you the one central space where you can manage a lot of other servers. So for example, if you have like 5-10 servers without the GUI or the graphical user interface, and you still want to manage, like you want to install the role, so you can use one server that has the graphical interface, and then you can use that to actually connect those servers and deploy the features and roles on those servers. Obviously you can do it through PowerShell, no problem for that, but that's just a feature. So and you can see why it's showing that is called dashboard, because from one window you can manage all your server. Even if you have hundreds of your server, you can go to all servers and you can see the list of servers in here, and you can manage from one machine, which is cool. But because we only have one server at the moment, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to adjust the settings of the server. Now you can see, obviously I am not residing in the US time zone. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it according to my time zone, which is obviously Australia. So I'm going to change it to Canberra, Melbourne, Sydney. So that's all good. Now I can see the time is coming correctly. We have almost end of the weekend evening, which is depressing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm excited to go to office tomorrow. Yeah, that's a separate story. Anyway, so coming back and changing the computer name, what I'm going to call it, like if you remember, I'm going to give it a name, SIT uh, dev DB0. Free, right? So it's a normal convention, and every enterprise, the IT infrastructure team, they have their own convention, and if you want, you can stick to that convention, right? So you can say, for me, because our office was in the CBD, we are based in Sydney. We have a dev instance, and that is our database server. So these kind of small tags, the combination of those tags can help you identify the location of and the purpose of your server, but not necessary. You can change it if you want to. Obviously, I'm not going to join a domain because I didn't set up a full network, which I can do and I can later join it. But right now, I'm just going to keep it as part of the work group. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to now click OK. And it's asking me, do you want to restart? Yes, I want to restart my machine. But before that, I think I need to stop the sharing. And once it comes back, I will share again. So let me just reboot my machine. Yeah, it is asking the reboot. Bear with me. I know you are unable to see the screen. I'll just share the screen as soon as yeah, now I can share this screen. So as part of the changing the name of the server, it has reboot the virtual machine. Just remember one thing: never ever change the server name once you have set it up, especially after installing the SQL Server name. There are so many issues that we encounter if we go and change the server name, right? So that's something not advisable. So you can see server is now booting up. I'm just going to show you as soon as server comes back. And you can see the machine name has nothing to do with the internal server name, which is obviously part of the operating system. So even if you are giving a name to your virtual machine, which is obviously the VirtualBox file, it is not going to allocate the same name to your server, which is running within that virtual machine. So if you want to do, you need to change it, and we have already seen how you can change it. Let me send the insert control del command. I'm running the administrator login. Oh, I think the password is different. Yeah. Make sure you have written down your password separately. Otherwise, if you lost the password, it's going to be a nightmare to get access back into your virtual machine. So my VM is back. I can see nice Windows Server 22 interface. My time zone is now correct because I can see Sunday, 11th of December 22, and we have evening time in here at the moment. You can see the server manager is already popping up. That's something I'm saying. So you don't need to open it up. That's the default behavior of the Windows server, that as soon as it's open up, it will open the server manager for you. Now, what I'm going to show you, the setting that we have changed. We have already verified one setting. Now I'm going to show you the second setting. So now you can see my system name is coming, server name is coming, set cbd-dev-db03. If you want to, not recommend it, but sometimes it's quite annoying that if you open the Internet Explorer, for somehow it keep opening the blocker pop-up. If you want to disable that, you can, just disable the enhanced security, which is obviously not recommended, but normally in production environment, normal user won't connect to the production server. So I think we are all good at this stage, especially from these. We are not going to install any updates at the moment. So I think because that's a fresh copy of the Windows Server, so I do believe it has all the updates. In future, if we get the updates, we will see whether they are legitimate to apply, or we need to wait till we identify any bug fixes, and we need to wait for the cumulative update so we can apply all together. So there are multiple way to handle that. That video is not for that. So I think we are pretty much good with our server. Now let me close it off. By the way, I'm going to actually later on show you we need to install a couple of roles and feature on this server. At some stage, we're going to hit that, but I'll show you then that how we are going to install those roles and feature. That's part of the series. So the next step, obviously, now we need to get the software that we need to install on this machine. And the very first software, which is the core software, is SQL Server, which we need to install. So I've already downloaded that server, but before that, I'm just going to set up Chrome on it, because just I can use Edge as well, because you can see now Edge is coming as a default. I can use, no issue with that, but I would prefer for somehow. Just start without data. I'm just going to just setting up the egg, because I do believe we are running for the first time. I'm sorry. Okay. So I've already downloaded the SQL Server 22. I'm going to put that link in the description of the video. You can go and you can download the 64-bit edition of your SQL Server 22. It's obviously the evaluation edition, which allow you to use the product for non-business activity for at least 180 days, which is almost 6 months, which is, I believe, enough for us to run any kind of, workload for our own learning and for our, for our understanding. And even if we need it later than that, what we can do, we can just, spin up another virtual machine, transfer our workload on it, and then, use from there. And then we have again a refresher of the quota for another 6 months, right? So that I do believe is more than enough from the learning perspective. And then once you are comfortable, you can start applying during your, actual environment, which is obviously the official dev environment or UAT environment. Perfect. So let me just download it on my machine. So you can see it's a very thin client or thin installer, like it didn't download a full ISO image or full installer. All it does that it's going to actually run the wizard, and then it will ask us what features we need, and based on that it will download the services during the installation. We also have the opportunity to download the offline installer, which provide us the ISO image. I haven't actually got a chance to find it out where it is. If I get it, I'll just put it in the description or update the description, right? But I think at this stage we are pretty good. What I'm going to do, I'm just right click on it and run it as an administrator to let the show begin. So you can see we have the evaluation edition. Oh, now it's even better. What I can do, it is asking me download SQL Server set of files now, install them later on your machine. Let's click on that. And what I will do, yeah, ISO, you can see now ISO is coming. It is almost 1 gig file. And I would prefer, yeah, English language, and I will prefer ISO, and let's download it. So while it is downloading, I'm not going to hold you back. I'm going to actually start the next episode while the downloading is finished, and we have the offline version of SQL Server 22, and we'll start the installation process. If you have any question, please reach out, put your comments, more than happy to answer. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.